And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. Can't even get my name right today. A tad late getting the button pushed this morning as we were looking at weather is what I was doing. And getting behind, I didn't notice the clock. Let's pull up radar and look at this of what we expect today, when it's going to be around, and what all is going to happen. As we pull up the radar this morning, we go to rush this area down here. It's absolutely clear at the moment. Now, if you'll notice here, west of Jackson, south of Jackson, all of this bad rain is moving east, but will break up before it makes it to Meridian. So south of Meridian is going to see the worst of this weather, and some areas up here around Kosciuszko and through Starkville area will see it, but it will more or less break up. We are going to have rain, but this intense stuff will miss us, believe it or not. That's good news as we look at this. Now, again, if you're in Macomb this morning or even down here at Baton Rouge this morning, look how heavy this rain is. Baton Rouge, if you're traveling 10 this morning for any reason, Highway 90, be ready. The rain is going to come through there as you make your way toward Lake Charles there on 10. Very rough weather. Some thunderstorm warnings down there, but nothing worse than that today. Now, let's back. Look at that lightning that's happening down around Brookhaven. Now, be careful. A little bit of fog here on the edge of Florida. The next thing that we want to do is pull up and let you look at what the severe weather holds for today, the outlook. Now, this is a level 1 is what is forecasted for today as we pull this up. And you'll notice it's broken up and not as bad as it could be. This will cut across Lauderdale County. That eastern side, northeastern Lauderdale County up here at Ralph Morgan Rodeo, not included in that. And Dalewood's going to miss this also. The level 1 will be kind of to the south of there as we zoom in on this morning and take a look at the line of this. And it will cut across about right here. Here's Northeast High School. It'll come across at Obadiah and cut across Northeast and all the way across there. As we look at this, Tom Bailey Lake will be included in it, and everything back west of there included. But east of there, not involved. We do have a little bit there, Kemper County. They're right there at Damascus, being in the line at the Volunteer Fire Department of where the level 1 cuts through and on through Philadelphia and back. But even at that, the worst that we're looking at this morning is going to be some heavy rain and some wind involved with this. You can never rule out anything else, but most likely that's what's going to happen, and it will go like this when it reaches the Meridian area. Break up, we will get the rain, but the worst of it will most likely be south. We'll watch it carefully. If it changes course or direction, we'll let you know all of that. How are you today? It is Friday. Aren't we tickled? 60 degrees as you're waking up. Not too bad. Always look forward to that. The bad news is, and we'll get into this here in just a moment, is the extended forecast. 7 days out. We're still showing rain, some form each day. So I hope you got your grass cut, because it could be a little while before you can get back out there. Nina, how are you today? Also, Teresa, she's joining us here. So glad to have you all this morning. We'll be right back. We're going to get a good word as we go out to Collinsville this morning to start the day and see what Brother Ben has to tell us.
Have you ever asked somebody out of frustration because of their poor choice, "What were you thinking?" After the Jewish leaders turned Jesus over to the Roman authorities, particularly the Roman governor of Judea, Pontius Pilate, the Jewish leaders had a "what were you thinking" moment. Pilate didn't want to put Jesus to death. He didn't see the accusation against him as that serious. But Pilate also didn't want the Jewish mob to riot. So he came up with a plan. "I'll give them a choice," he said, "that's sure to get Jesus off the hook." And so he called for his soldiers to bring a wicked, notorious Jewish criminal named Barabbas. He was a murderous rebel, the scripture tells us, that the Jews despised and feared. He'd been condemned to death just like Jesus. When Barabbas was brought to Pilate, he put both Barabbas and Jesus before the Jewish crowd and essentially said, "I'm going to release one of these two men. One will go free and the other will die. Will you choose Jesus or Barabbas?" And to Pilate's amazement, the Jewish mob yelled out, "Give us Barabbas!" And that's what Pilate did.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. Sunday morning, the doors will be open, wide open. Come visit them. They're in Collinsville. Right there, you can't miss it. First Baptist Church of Collinsville. Great folks, always a great message. Brother Ben would welcome. Love to have you there. 6:35-ish as we get this day underway. Are you ready? I certainly hope so. Now, as we back up and we take a look at what's going on around the nation this morning, Phoenix, Arizona. I think my biggest memory of that would be as a kid watching Mel's Diner. But we have bad headlines as we go to Phoenix, Arizona this morning. Did you catch this, that last weekend, Saturday morning, a young lady went for a jog? She would never return. Her body would be found. She was murdered. She was out jogging there. They have made an arrest, a highly suspect. They did a search warrant on his apartment. He was taken into custody. They've not released the name yet, but an arrest has been made. They had a blurry image of someone that they got off a trail camera. Horrible that is. That happens more frequently than you know. If y'all remember, that happened in the south of Memphis not long ago. A young lady got up one morning, 4:30, and went jogging, never to return home. Be careful if you jog early in the morning or late at night or walk or whatever you do, no matter what part of the nation that you're standing in right now. Make sure somebody knows where you are, and it's always best to go in groups. Going alone is not usually good. This almost seems like, do you remember when Donald Trump called, what's her name, Pocahontas? I'll think of her name in a minute, but she'd gone most of her life pretending to be an American Indian when turns out she was not. Oh, we've got another. We go to the California Berkeley University, where a professor all of her life has claimed to be a Native American, and guess what? She is not. 100% Caucasian. She's issued an apology. They're calling for her to be removed from her post. We'll see what happens with that. Boy, oh boy. Iowa State football player, this even gets worse as we look at headlines here. 20 years old, is accused of rape. It goes a step further. When she was raped, the young lady was slammed down. She's paralyzed from the waist down. Just can't fathom all these things that happen across America. Burger King, have it your way. Well, not in some locations. Over the next little bit, up to 400 stores are going to close by the end of this year is what they're saying, due to the fact of the underperformance. They can't keep up with the competition. They're losing money. 400 of them will close its doors. That's a lot of them. Mainly this month, they're looking in the northeast region of the United States. Nothing in our area at this point there. We'll leave that alone. Tucker Carlson. Have y'all seen this? Considering hosting his own 24 debate. Would it work? I guess it's a possibility. Tucker's liked, although the network has been releasing behind-the-scenes footage in an effort, to make themselves look better. But it looks as though he may hold his own debate. Even Trump hinted that maybe he should do that instead of going with the major networks and the way they do it. A lot of folks don't like debates. As we get into this, they feel like it's slanted. And I would assume that in some cases it could be. So how do you feel? I hope really good. We got Odie coming up here in a few moments. We'll get all that. Also, we're going to have a special guest as we get ready for Bud and Bowling this weekend. That happens tomorrow, downtown Meridian. Crawfish, it's a big deal. It's a huge turnout last year. Earth's Bounty, a lot going on. We'll talk about all of that. We'll get into your forecast here in just a moment. The Precast Group, offering you the best selection when it comes to a storm shelter. Located on 145 South in Meridian, where they offer above-ground shelters that can be installed in your home as you're built-in, are conveniently located right outside your home if it's already built. They also offer storm shelters that can be installed in a slight bank or on flat ground. Protect your family today with a very affordable storm shelter from the Precast Group. Highway 145 South, 601-482-0003. The Precast Group.
Hello, my name's Kenneth Graham, and I'm running for coroner of Lauderdale County. For over 50 years, Lauderdale County's been represented by professional and competent coroners. I would like to continue that tradition. Over the next several months, I want to educate the public on what the coroner does and dispel any myths about the coroner job. I can show you that I will be the most professional coroner there is. So please vote for me August the 8th.
Paid for by the Committee for the Election of Kenneth Graham. Welcome back. It is Friday. Can you believe that? Already May the 5th. Oh, tonight is full moon on 5th. Also, we'll talk about that this morning as well if you're in the downtown area tonight. That'll be fun. As we go back to radar, let's look where the showers are this morning as you're waking up. All to the west of us, light showers starting to move into Newton County now here on this western side. Nothing heavy, a little bit in Union. The streets are slick, and north of Philadelphia, and as you go through Noxapater, starting to move in there in Louisville. Well, before long, it'll be out there. Lake Teocata, you'll get some rain, and up by the jail. Not quite there yet, but it's moving in on that. The worst of rain around Carthage this morning if you're headed toward Jackson. Pelahatchie, Morton area there where the roadside parks are, some showers. And the heaviest that we've got still over here around Brookhaven, Mississippi, all south of Jackson, Crystal Springs, those areas there around Macomb this morning, getting the worst of this. Now, an hour ago, you would have swore every bit of this was going to come right through Meridian. But as predicted, it's breaking up and going south of us. We will get rain, but nothing like the stuff they're getting in Brookhaven this morning. That is the good news I have to tell you. Can't beat that at all. All right, as we begin, let's just get into our forecast now.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Our record highs, record lows, 1952. It was 94 degrees today. Hot, wasn't it? Back in 11, it was a cool 39 on this morning. A lot different from 60 that we've got right now. About 21 degrees difference. As we look at what we have for today, 83 is the best we're going to get on that temperature scale, up to 81 through Philadelphia, up 19. And as you keep going up 19, you travel 15, whichever way you go there. By the time you reach Louisville, Stark Vegas, 79, 78. Somewhere around Columbus Air Force Base will hold that also. Natchez a little warmer, about 85. And when you cross over that line back into Louisiana, still warmer, 87 in Bastrop. As we go east into Bama, 82 in Demopolis. Birmingham, look at that. Big difference there, 75 there. And the further north you go, a little bit cooler. To the south, Troy, Alabama looks to see 83 as well as Montgomery today. Now, as we look at this is what we were looking at on the map a moment ago. That rain is breaking up. Now, western side of Newton could see a little worse than Meridian area, but mainly this is going to break up and go south, these areas here. So anything south of Meridian, be prepared for severe weather at some point today. We'll watch this closely. It is Mother Nature, and it can change at any given time. But as of now, we look to be just getting some rain out of this. As we look at our temperatures, 6 to 10 days out from now, it's going to be hot in the state of Mississippi. We'll go ahead and throw in Alabama and portions of Georgia as well on that. Out back in California, a little bit of a breeze there. Our 7-day forecast hits today somewhere between 81 to 83, a 70% chance of those thunderstorms happening. By tomorrow, we still have a 60% chance of showers, 88 for the high, then down to a 40% chance on Sunday as we go to church. As the work week begins, we got 30%, and it holds steady to around Thursday, down to a 20% chance. Maybe we'll get out of it by then. That's what we're hoping. Not much of a big chance there. As we do the extended outlook, let's go ahead and look at that. You did see that 90, didn't you? Let me back that up. 90, 90, 90. That's hot. Oof. As we move forward, the 12th, 85, all the way through the 19th of May, we're looking at, well, warm weather, 85 to 90 degrees in there. As we look at that fishing forecast for today, it looks like today at 12:20 to about 2:30 should be the time to hit the old lake there and take your cork and catch you something. Ought to be good there. It is, as Carl pointed out, Cinco de Mayo. Did I pronounce that correct? Is that right? How you say that? Cinco de Mayo. Cinco de Mayo. It's going to be a lot of Mexican food, tortilla chips. It's a fun day. Enjoy it. A lot of celebrations around. Fun, fun, fun. As we started, as we said, today's 60, not bad. Streets are going to be wet here in just a little bit, but not all that bad. We got all of the latest to what's gone on over the last 24 hours in our area, that radius around here. We'll cover it all. Make sure to join us, 6 p.m. sharp. And again, we'll have our special guest, Anna Grace. She'll tell us all about the big events in downtown Meridian tomorrow. Earth's Bounty is going to be out. A lot of things going on with that in conjunction. We'll see you then. We'll be back in roughly 14 minutes from now to start off that new morning show. We'll see you then.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: